Now, Sledgehammer Games finally came out with a reveal of a gameplay trailer on Modern Warfare 3 just days ago. This is basically one of the game's campaign's missions. In addition, we also know the game will feature updated versions of all 16 maps, launch maps, for Modern Warfare 2. Just take a look. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 will be available on PCs, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S on November 10 this year. Sega and developers Ryu Studios once again came out and released a new trailer revealing more on story, cast, combat, and locations on the new Like a Dragon Gaiden game, The Man Who Erased His Name. There ain't really much to talk about except the game is an adventure brawler and follows the story of Kazuma, the man who erased his name. Anyway, the game will release November 9 for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PCs and all generation consoles as well. On November 3 this year, finally we can have hands on Quantum Error. I actually announced the update a week ago. This is one of the most awaited survival horror games of the past few years, scratched from the ground up a few times, technically twice, to be made with Unreal Engine 5. The game is no longer a PlayStation 5 exclusive, it's now coming to Xbox Series X and PCs as well, November 2nd.
The Sheriff of Nottingham stole Lionheart, a wondrous stone, to empower his army and oppress the people.
Gangs of Sherwood also went on and got itself a new trailer a few hours ago. We came across the news that the game is releasing November 2nd instead of October, coming to PCs and the next generation of consoles only. Gangs of Sherwood, in case you're new to, is a co-op action RPG mainly multiplayer about a Robin Hood kind of dude who steals from the rich and gives to the poor, no matter the challenge. Just take a look.
Back to the people. The more spectacular you fight, the more reputation you get. Return to Major Row, your hideout, to customize your character. Unlock new combos and shards that will modify the behavior of your attacks. Then gather some friends or set out on a solo mission in a compelling story campaign. The time has come to lead the resistance.
130 playable ninjas. This game has the largest roster ever. The foundation of battle is made up of melee attack combos. See the variety of combos each character can offer.
Number 5, we have the much-awaited Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Connections. This is an action fighting game that includes heavily detailed ninja battles and fights, and a very different approach in story as opposed to previous games, meaning you actually get to live through the scenes and cutscenes of Naruto's childhood and get to know more about the story. The game is releasing November 17 this year.
Each character has been doubled. This means in a 3-man squad, you can now battle with up to 6 ninjutsu. See the newly evolved battles when you activate multiple ninjutsu. When your HP is low, you can turn the tide of battle with Awakening mode. In this temporary form, characters gain enhanced strength and abilities to stage a comeback. Save up your chakra and unleash your secret technique. That's not all. If you form teams with specific characters, you can trigger combination secret techniques. Experiment with different teams to see all the possible combinations.
Now you learn what it means to oppose the video experience. Imagine a city plagued by violence and gangs.
Number 6, we have one of the longest awaited games of these few years, RoboCop Rogue City. This is a first-person RPG shooter that sits between the events of RoboCop 2 and 3, the movies. Nothing to worry about if you don't have a PC. RoboCop Rogue City releases November 2nd this year on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X as well. Accompanying the pre-order bonuses, we got this.
Pre-order now and unlock even more content. What are you waiting for? Save Detroit. Have the adventure of a lifetime. OCP is committed by your side.
Coming from last year's PC gaming show, in case you missed it, we have ever since one of the biggest projects due in 2023, a science fiction thriller set in the same universe of The World of Rains, a game here called Invincible. You see, Invincible is a single-player experience offering a somewhat rather familiar to Alien, or specifically Alien Isolation, except it's set on Mars and it is being built with the use of Unreal Engine 5. The game is coming out November 6th for PCs and the next generation of consoles only.
So now let's meet the rest of the crew. First up is the hothead with a heart of gold, Ryuji, matching his big and bold personality.
Moving on, we have Persona 5 Tactica. This is a tactical role-playing entry in the long-running franchise, which happens to be coming to every single gaming console November 17 this year. I mean, Switch included. Now, the difference as opposed to previous games over here is instead of allowing a character to take a turn in place of another, you can actually now swap with a party member when someone is dead, which is, anyway, not just that, there seems to be some chain combos, new mechanics, and this is how it looks.
Submachine gun, Ann is able to hit several enemies with her basic ranged attack. With her persona Carmen, Ann can hit groups of enemies as well as inflict burn on them. Try out Ann's Femme Fatale attack to deliver a bomb directly to enemies in cover. The eccentric art student with unmatchable willpower, Yusuke, can take down legionnaires with his assault rifle, dishing out damage from across a wide distance. If that wasn't enough, he relies on his persona Goemon to unleash the ability Bufu to attack a small area with ice and inflict a freeze effect to enemies in the blast zone. Or to use the ability like a phantom to create decoys on the battlefield to keep enemies off balance.
That lasts but a few hours. This is a full, proper AC game where you get to play 3 different assassins across 3 different time periods and it's all wrapped up together in a brand new Assassin's Creed story.
After more than almost 3 years of a rather casual announcement of a trailer, Assassin's Creed Nexus VR, Ubisoft finally came out a month ago and came out with the game's in-game footage, which was resurfaced packed with in-game footage. Now we know that Nexus offers a protagonist. You actually get to play the roles of Ezio, the protagonist in Italy, another one in Greece, and actually another one in Boston, which, go by the name Connor. Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is a semi-open world game that's coming to MetaQuest 2, 3, and possibly other headsets as well.
Top pillar for us. The second one is exploration/navigation. So that's a mix of being able to climb and parkour and run all over the rooftops of all these environments. But also to get the sense of being in that environment, right, in the historical place. And then the third one is combat. So from single enemies to multiple enemies and fighting like an assassin with all those key iconic weapons. So the dream of Nexus really is to fundamentally allow players to become a master assassin with these 3 different settings and these 3 different beloved characters.
Arashi Castle of Sin Final Cut will launch for the PlayStation VR 2 as well. PC's on Steam, and Quest 2 also then later on Quest 3. We're not sure about that version, but it's set to be coming out too. The previous headset is going to be coming out November 16. Skydance just announced a new trailer. The new version, the VR version here, will be using the next generation virtual reality hardware and promises the ultimate shinobi experience with much more combat maneuvers. Take a look.
春がお前を守ってくれるだろう。腹が減ったしな。肺の先には死のみぞ待つ。それが忍びの掟だ。
わしがお前らの新しい救世主だ。くらえ。
我々の威信にかけて戦うのだ。死ね。
Dear Editor-in-Chief, I am writing to you from Port Said at the entrance of the Suez Canal.
Probably the second time the game is in a list. Over here we have from August last year, from the developers of the Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, another adventure action game called The Tintin Reporter, which we actually know from just a cinematic from last year. The game is in the making ever since. It's said to be in the works for over 2 years. There's some gameplay. This is an adventure puzzler story-based game on its way for all consoles and PCs November 7 this year.
Don't worry about me. I am sure it will be a walk in the park. I shall keep you posted. Yours faithfully, Tintin.
In a world consumed by chaos and bloodshed, true heroes emerge. Forged through blood, sweat, and sacrifice.
Achilles Legends Untold, on the other hand, is an isometric action RPG taking inspiration from a lot of Diablo, at the same time Souls-like and hack and slashers. It's a really good looking game. It's the company's first work somehow of an open world in formula, and this is how it looks. Here's a trailer. In case you missed it, the game is now coming out fully November 2nd this year for PCs and both generation of consoles as well.
Unleashing his wrath upon those who dared oppose him. The hero whose legend has transcended his era. Discover the untold story of the greatest warrior of all. The time has come to tell the tale.
The protector of Freljord, the greatest!
Who might you two be?
Number 13 announced a week ago we have a League of Legends crossover something here called Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, which seems to be a story-focused adventure and, as Riot Games described, a single-player story adventure that offers an immersive narrative set in a brand new universe. The game is releasing November 1st this year. Take a look.
Nothing of this heart of the blue, but a winged mountain, you say? Come, follow me.
Of your WRC experience, where you'll lead your team to victory against the world's best rally drivers, cars, and teams. You begin by creating your own team and can start from anywhere on the WRC ladder.
Now, you probably know this already, but EA Sports has a WRC game in the works coming out for PCs and both generation of consoles November 3 this year. The new rig will feature over 600 kilometers of unique road and more than 200 stages, the folks announced. Not just that, the game will be using Unreal Engine with an evolution of dirt rally, physics, and more in-game mechanics. Check it out.
You can build the greatest team in rallying. Not only will you be able to drive many cars from the world of rally, you'll also get to build and customize your very own car, making your mark in rally history. In the mid-2000s, Colin McRae followed up his years of rallying success with an ambitious project, the creation of an all-new rally car, the McRae R4. You can drive the McRae R4 in WRC, and you can also follow in Colin's footsteps by designing and developing your very own rally car from the ground up.
Faraway world sits a bizarre castle filled with music and madness.
A super crazy Rhythm Castle will launch for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch, in addition to PCs on Steam, November 14. Konami just announced that with a release trailer, said the game will be available both physically and digitally on release day and will feature over 30 stages, co-op play, campaign of course, and a lot of unlockables.
Check, 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 check.
It's been almost 10 years, but the long-awaited sequel to Talos Principle is now here. I mean, it was revealed, and it really does seem like a different game entirely. If you're new here, guys, as you might guess, a first-person puzzle adventure or exploration game where the more you go through the story, everything gets more confusing. I mean, it just opens branches, and you're supposed to guess what is what. This game is coming to PCs and next generation of consoles November 2nd. Granblue Fantasy Versus is coming out on PCs and the next generation of consoles on 30th of November this year too. Finally, the game is now powered up, revamped with simplified input options in addition to the PlayStation 5 for the price of $50. Box System Works just came out with the new edition's announcement, a trailer. If you're new here, the game is a 2D, 3D action fighting adventure. Take a look.
裁きの風の前に倒れるかい万象滅絶の一撃セリフ飛んだ遅すぎるな近畿をまとわん手荒に行くぞここだ魂叫んでいるさて
Number 18 is actually the most anticipated game of November on Switch, My Time at Sandrock. Developers announced a sequel to the old life sim RPG My Time at Porsche is coming out on the hybrid console and other consoles as well on November 2nd this year. Bringing the same content with compromised gameplay, a smoother mechanic, and this is how it looks. We got a new trailer.
Realms of Ruin is a real-time strategy game set during the war-torn Age of Sigmar. Immerse yourself.
Warhammer Age of Sigmar Realm of Ruin was announced earlier this year with pre-order bonuses, and it is now finally coming out to PCs and the next generation of consoles November 17. The new game, in case you're new to, promises a rather old-school real-time strategy experience and all the more. The game will feature a cinematic campaign, comprehensive 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2 cross-platform multiplayer, and more.
Author Gav Thorpe follow dauntless Stormcast Eternals as they search for a means to survive relentless Auric Krulboy's attacks. The swamps of Ger hide an arcane power that may be their salvation, but in that fetid place, dark secrets and danger await those brave enough to enter. Conquest Mode. A single-player challenge mode, played over a procedurally generated campaign that pits players against a series of unpredictable combat scenarios and maps, featuring rule-breaking twists that can transform the conditions of conflict, charge directly to victory, or take on more battles to challenge for a higher score. The choice is yours. No two Conquest campaigns will ever be the same.
Moving on, we have here finally the sequel to the real-time strategy Dungeons. The new game here is said to be coming out of PCs, Switch, and the next generation of consoles after more than 5 years of development and due out November 17 this year. This announcement just came through with some more in-game footage and a little bit of story.
Dungeons 4.
And last but not least, we've got Star Ocean, the second story arc releases on November 2nd this year, and it's now coming to PCs, PlayStation 5, 4, the Nintendo Switch. The new Star Ocean game, if you missed out on its gameplay, is a 2D, 3D, or rather HD 2D, like the triangle strategy of Square Enix, meaning the game's background is in full 3D, while the characters move in 2 dimensionals. Company of the Good Woods, we got a new trailer too.
Castles and mountains that appear as you rotate the camera will lead you to the next adventure. Dialogues with your party pop up when you're exploring the field. The dialogues will appear in the menu screen as well and inform you of the next destination and other information. This will give you a more realistic sense of being on a journey with your party. This game adapts symbol encounter system.